Hello, I'm back again with terrorist activity around the world. I know I've added bits and pieces on Europe, etc., elsewhere, but this is far more broad spectrum. Anyway, there are going to be more independent and individual cells of terrorism, and it's as if it's actually part of a hive, which seem to be seeing a resurgence in the following countries. Again, as always, I hope I'm wrong, but I am giving you this information. Iran, Iraq, nearly all the Middle Eastern countries, and even though they some of them support Al Qaeda and all the others, they do have terrorism. Okay, so anyway, Middle Eastern countries: Morocco, Denmark, Belarus, Turkey, Greece. In several countries in the African continent, Vietnam, the Philippines, England, Ireland, Italy, Belgium, Germany, Spain, Sweden, Cuba, America, Canada, Australia, parts of Indonesia, Thailand, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, China, which is very underground there. Russia will have, but again, it doesn't mean to say it's all or originating from Al Qaeda. Their terrorism is, there are different faces to it, so remember that. So these terrorist groups seem to be distinctly separate, the ones I'm thinking, or seeing rather. However, they seem to be united with a common central mentality. It's like a pyramid with individuals, part of a larger cluster. The clusters are part of a collective cooperative group. As mentioned previously, they all seem to be being directed by a very financial powerful consortium, which is not based in one country per se. This certainly sounds like a conspiracy theory, but when you take time and put things together, who, what, where, there are too many coincidences with what seems to be coordinated attacks, riots, etc., and protests. Again, as mentioned below, it is all about impacting certain countries and their economy and controlling the masses to devalue and maybe manipulate their currency, etc. What do you think? Anyway, this information was not given to you for you to begin being fearful and living in a life of worry. It is for you to be more aware of how you can control your own life and not let media and the herd mentality dictate your daily routine. Your individual right to decide what is best for you, etc. Isn't that correct? Use this information and as mentioned earlier, it is all about impacting certain countries and their economy and influencing them, controlling the masses to devalue and maybe even manipulate their currency, etc. What do you think? This information was not given to you for you to begin being fearful and living in a life of worry, constant worry actually for many of you. It is for you to be more aware of how you can control your own life and not let media and the herd mentality dictate your daily routine, your individual right to decide what is best for you and your family, etc. Isn't that right? Use this information and decide to just worry about your immediate circumstances. Fortify your own resources, family, finances. Do you have savings enough for 6 months, 1 year plus? Health, food, home, friends, these are things that I know are the individual's worry and fear in a time of crisis or with the chaos that's happening throughout the world. Make a list and look at it every few weeks to a month or so. Ask yourself, what has changed? What needs to be adjusted? Create a backup plan. What is actually important to you? And act on it. Then act on that and work towards that end. You will feel more in control of your life and not part of a crazy world with world we're existing in today. Create a backup plan. What is important to you? Then act on that and work towards that end. You will feel more in control of your life and not part of the crazy world we are existing in today. I hope next year to put out a few short books with a lot of exercises which are really self-examining, which will help you gain hopefully more control and structure in your life. That is, if anybody is interested. There is a lot of work, self-investigation and realizations a person has to do, your homework, before they are in a position of personal power and can feel independent enough to feel free of worry and fear, which is fear dictates a lot in our lives, and we don't even realize it until it's you face off on it. Anyway, if you're interested in that, let me know, and I'll work on that for next year. Thank you for joining me on this video. Okay, terrorist activity and shootings in America. Again, I'm sorry to say that I think some of those did come true. I didn't check. I don't like checking that anyway. But unfortunately, the shootings are ramping up, and I will put out a separate video on that one. But quite frankly, people are not even using guns, as you noticed, and I did say this last year and the year before, I'm sure, that they're using knives and other weapons, weaponizing that way. Please be aware of your surroundings if you're not used to being in a metropolis, or at least a city. Anything other than your routines, be careful. Where there's obviously could be low income, and it's not even the low income poor things, they're trying to struggle and survive. It's the drug cartels coming in and mobilizing people who haven't got the money. But anyway, be careful, and that's where there's really needless, useless, horrible attacks. That's one aspect, all right? The other aspect is, I hate to say, on the terrorist side, is more to do with discrimination, which I shouldn't even say hate, I hate the word hate, but quite frankly, discriminative acts of violence against Asians, mostly I'm seeing, and also they don't understand what they don't understand, and this is one thing I've talked to you about on since I started this, how many years ago, predictions that hate breeds hate, and it does not have any kind of skill or brains to it. They use fear to manipulate everybody. So please don't be manipulated or being a puppet. People who do watch my videos, 99.999 agree with me, I know that, but there's that 1% who are just trolls and use this to try and scare people anyway. I would like you to really be a bit more mindful, cognitive of your surroundings. Obviously not have a weapon, but when you've got something, even a whistle, buy a whistle that would go on your key ring that you have, and if you're going from the mall, especially at Christmas shopping and stuff like that, keep it in your hand and have your key ready to put it into the lock. These are all basic things, I'm sure. I don't mean to be insulting people, but this is very, very important. There's so many other self-defensive things you could do, but I'm seeing a lot of attacks, and what I can't stand is it's on older people, frail, and they just are, they watch these conspiracy theories and believe in them. and they're being programmed. They have no, obviously, no mind to use independently. Sorry, I had a coughing fit there. Okay, I guess I was getting upset for all the things I'm seeing. It's really a lot, and the attacks are happening in New York, in certain places like Chinatown and Manhattan too. Virginia, I'm seeing, I'm afraid. Chicago, Texas. There's a lot in Texas, I'm afraid. California, and in like in Disneyland, there's one, and no rhyme or reason. Seattle and in that area, hate crimes. In Vegas as well, San Diego, really a tiny bit in Phoenix, Colorado, that kind of thing, yes, definitely. And in little isolated attacks all over the place. But basically, that's it. There's a lot going on in Canada, which I'll cover in Canada as well. So please be careful, and that's another type of terrorism. The terrorism regarding the Taliban and everything else, they've gone kind of quiet, but I believe they've elected a new leader and radicalized what army they have all over the world, and I'm seeing it far more in London, I'm afraid, and Europe. But quite frankly, we do have some isolated attacks here, and I hate to say it, they are getting in from the border from Mexico, and coming in. So there is, I hope I'm wrong, and I'm warning people. It's a small plane, but I believe it's being used as a tool again. It's not a Boeing jet or something like that, but it's a smaller jet, and that's being used as like a bomb. So, round about June, I hope I'm wrong, but I am seeing something with a plane. Not a huge amount of people, but still, even one person is too many for innocent lives to be lost. So if you've got a good intuition about something, follow the intuition, please. As for the other things, it's really to do with cyber attacks. They seem to be concentrating on cyber attacks and getting into your accounts. Change your account passwords maybe every month, hopefully. If you can't do that, especially on your phone, by the way, they'll be attacking phones, Androids. iPhones are more or less, but there is a backdoor, what do you call it? A backdoor compromise that Apple's going to have to address, which hasn't been revealed yet, but that is coming down the road. I think they have they suspect there is something, but they certain iPhones will with your payment information on it, if it's not secured, will be attacked. But this is it's as if they've got, by the way, other than the Taliban and, all of those groups there, you've got Russia now. And Putin has activated a massive network of hackers trying to steal, other than money, but just destroy people's accounts and things like that. So make sure you've got two ways to authenticate verify your access codes when you go into your online banking, etc. This is all moot points, but if people are interested, I can do some quick one, but there's so much on the internet that you could do with far more experts than me. But please look out for your parents or loved ones or friends who are older who are being scammed one after the other. And so you need to really be far more aware of things around you on that level. Other than that, I see, and these are kids, as young as this one, there's an attack with a gun, 11-year-old. There have been more shootings. I always go over this, and I'm so sorry, but it's part of the hate crimes on older ones, but these are, I call them kids, a 22-year-old, and it'll be around about that age, it looks, in Texas again. And he's been radicalized, he's isolated. Oh, sorry. If you see somebody or know somebody whose child is very isolated and doesn't talk and just very acting peculiar, don't overthink it, but just ask the parents if he's okay. Sometimes we don't know because they think they're just in a funk or something. But you don't need to take the law in your own hands. The FBI are doing what they can, but it's something not to be accusatory of people you think, oh, I'm going to get them in trouble. It'll only come back on you, by the way, horribly. So it's up to you if you want to do that kind of horrible thing. But there are a lot of shootings I'm seeing, one as many as 22, and that's more or less in Florida. There's two shootings in Virginia, a lot there are about 5 in Texas next year. Denver, California's got about 5 to 8 possibility, and these are anything from one, not exactly one, but mass shootings are 2 to 16. One's on a campus of a university. And these people, one in actually 2 or 3 in this area here. I hate doing these things. But anyway, I just want you to be aware and be aware of your surroundings. If your intuition says don't go there, don't go down that road or whatever. That goes with car accidents and everything else too, with people doing smoking, what do you call that? Weed or whatever you call it, marijuana, and they're not meant to drive. They do not have the full cognitive sense. I know I'm going to get backlash on that. I don't care. That's my opinion. You aren't really there cognitively. You can safely have it at home, but don't drive and do that, please. Anyway, I'm not against it. I'm just saying don't drive and smoke it. Okay? All right, so basically, very overview, that's that. And it's about 3 to 5 churches are being hit, and they're some in black, about 3 in black and 2 Jewish synagogues. So please be careful. And these are people who have dedicated, have a good grounding in spiritual lives and help people, and they're being taken out by people who are being radicalized and have no brains and are just hateful. All right, so keep safe and be aware. Hopefully the churches have some kind of precaution to keep people, to scan people and make sure that nothing happens like that. All right, anyway, good luck and keep safe, please, on that one.